Right. Hi, Jessica. It's really good to see you today. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that today's session is our planned termination. What that means is we're going to spend time reviewing the work that we've done together and the progress that you've made. And then we're going to talk about the goals that you originally came in with and making sure you feel supported with a plan moving forward. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, how are things going today?
They're going a lot better. Since we spoke last time, I've really been trying to incorporate that 5 4 3 2 1 thing we talked about while I start to have these anxiety or panic attacks. I'm able to, um use that method and strategy to help bring myself back down and not allow the panic attack to escalate. So it's really been helpful for me.
Great. Oh, I'm so glad that that's working out for you. Thank you for sharing. And I know when we first met, you had shared that your anxiety had been like a long part of your life, and that over the past year you identified some panic attacks at work and at night. And then, if you remember, we had completed an assessment together called the GAD-7, which kind of went through like different anxiety, and we completed a biopsychosocial interview. And from there, it appeared that, we could do a generalized anxiety disorder with some panic features. Does that still feel like an accurate description of what you were experiencing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then we discussed some goals together, which included reducing the frequency and intensity of the panic attacks. We had talked about increasing your ability to regulate your body during moments that you were feeling overwhelmed, building coping strategies that you could use at work and at home, and understanding triggers and patterns connected to your anxiety. And then we had talked about some cognitive behavioral therapy and the grounding regulation skills, which it sounds like you're still using with the 5 4 3 2 1. And then you had mentioned tracking your anxiety in a notebook, so that we could kind of review those patterns together. Um, how do you feel hearing all of that? That's a lot of work that we've done.
Um, yeah, I feel good. I feel like, at the start it was a little harder for me, but once we really introduced, that grounding technique and like practicing mindfulness more, I really started to see a change and a difference.
Good, good. And I know that one example that you had described during the panic attacks was like that tight feeling in your chest. Could be blurry vision, shaking. You identified some triggers, which um, we had talked about a new case that you were getting and like the timeline, the level of awareness that you've recognized, I believe, is a great strength. And it shows a lot of courage in talking about not wanting others to see you in distress and choosing to go to the bathroom as a safe space. Um, and that just shows being resourceful and able to take steps to protect yourself in the moment. And even though grounding was new to you, you were able to practice it. You were willing to try the 5 4 3 2 1 techniques and practice that at night so it becomes more automatic. So that willingness is, a major part of why people make progress in therapy and, why we've made it this far today. How how would you say your progress has been since we started until where we are now?
I feel like it's a lot better from where I started and where we are now. I'm having a lot less panic attacks per se. I think I still have a little bit of anxiety, generalized anxiety, but I think that's something I will probably always have. But, having these new techniques and ways, I've definitely seen a decrease in my panic attacks to where it's I feel that tightness in my chest, and it doesn't get as bad anymore now that I know different coping skills to use.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I think too, as you know, even though our time is coming to a successful end, those are skills that I would encourage you to continue using and practicing. And as time goes on, hopefully it will, help you to continue to feel better that you're able to process all of that. So thank you for being so honest. And just with everything that we're talking about, I just want to make sure that you have a plan moving forward. If anything comes up, continuing outpatient therapy, you can always reach out to me again, or any provider, and building on the CBT skills and grounding that we've worked on. If you ever feel that you need additional support, you could always look to having like a medication evaluation, and then self-guiding tools, continuing your anxiety journal, practicing your grounding daily, and using meditation at night can help. And then there's always crisis or urgent support. So if you ever feel overwhelmed or safe. So overall, my goal is for you to feel supported and not dropped. This isn't a forever goodbye. And is there any other follow-up or ongoing care that feels right for you at this point?
No, I don't think at this point. I just want to thank you so much for being able to help me.
Okay. Well, and I think that you've shown great insight, and I appreciate your engagement and your honesty. And even though this is our last session together, the progress that you've made is yours to keep. You've built great skills and awareness and strategies that hopefully you can continue to grow. And if you ever return to therapy in the future, you'll be coming in with great foundation and great skills. So I just want to say thank you for trusting me, and working with you through your story. And I wish you the best, and um, hope that you continue to care for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah, and always, keep my number. And if you ever need to reconnect, I'll always, hopefully be here to help guide you in the right direction.
Mm, Thank you.
Yep, take care.
You too.